Okay, this is a story about why I refuse to use outhouses for number 2. When I was in the Army, I was down in Louisiana, and we had this simulated war. And everyone's set up in these makeshift bases with tents is where you stay. And then there was, 3 tents, and I think you could fit 500 to 600 people in each tent. And there were 9 outhouses for these 3 tents. And which wasn't a big deal the first couple days, but then after using the outhouse, you could look down there and see that the substance was starting to rise closer and closer to the top. Now, in the Army or any type of military engagement, you have a light discipline. You can't use light at night because it could be seen from far away. So if you go to use the outhouse, you couldn't have a flashlight to see where the seat is or anything like that. So I was standing out minding my own business, and some guy goes in to use the outhouse, and he comes screaming out, "Ah!" And there was toilet paper and gravy stuck to him. And I found myself vomiting in my mouth over that. It was the most disgusting thing I'd ever seen. The actual product inside the outhouse had gone up over the seat. Oh. And the guy had sat down to use the toilet and sat down on somebody else's product. And he didn't know, and he didn't have a light to shine to see where he was sitting, so he sat down on someone else's product and came screaming out, and all you could do was all over him. And I still remember just the horror. So since then, I don't use outhouses because of that.
It's just like pudding. I've been asked to explain to you my favorite calendar. Teachers always have fun desk calendars, either of art or their favorite poetry, or maybe like precious moments calendars up in their room. My favorite calendar is my 2003 calendar given to me by the girls' tennis team. It's the 2003 dog poo calendar, and it was really touching to me to know that my girls' tennis team cared enough to give a crap. So what we have here is just 12 months that explore the fine world of dog poop, something that we've all experienced firsthand, whether on our shoes or in our houses. For instance, January's poo covered in ice. February's poo steaming on a rock in a beautiful scene there. It's kind of like a river scene. I really like that one. March's poo is a little bit zoned in, and you can see like the chunks in the poo, which is really nice, but it's in these nice bed of flowers, and it really brings out the color and the hue of the poo. April, one of my personal favorites here, because not only are there Easter eggs, but there's also a fly who's really getting ready to mount the poo. He's going to mount it. My favorite month by far, however, is July. July's poo is the patriotic poo, sitting in the desert heat. So if you'd like to see my poo calendar, you can swing by any time, because these pictures, they're really special to me.
All right, whenever you're ready.
Whenever I'm ready.
Right, like now.
Okay. What am I supposed to?
Go ahead and tell your story.
Story about
the prostitute.
Okay, well, somehow, it just strikes me that even though this is a true story, that if I tell this story that involves my being punched by a prostitute in Paris, that also includes the phrase uttered by me, I didn't know I wasn't supposed to do that, it would probably somehow compromise my integrity. So, I'd rather, hey, have I ever told you that I was on Jeopardy? I was on Jeopardy, Alex Trebek. He's not nearly the fluff-filled wimp that he appears to be on TV. He's a big man, big hands. I know because he had his hand on my butt when this picture was taken. And I still remember that moment today. Cut. I'm not going to tell the story.
Tell the story!
All right, good. You're done. That's all I'm giving you. You'll never get that story out of me.
because